Okay, that was a bit mad. That's parenting, isn't it? So,
Mommy.
yeah. So, anyway, whatever, we just leave it. We leave it from where we was last. So, I want to ask you something. How do you? I don't know why you put the foxes with me there on the.
Your feet are warm,
Yeah.
man. Of course.
Yeah. Ask. Yeah. What about when it comes to support from your family, from your friends, from people around you? Social. No, we'll get down to that later down the line. But yeah, friends, family.
My friends have been amazing. I'm really, really lucky to have them. My cousin Sherelle has reached out pretty much every day since she heard about the twins. She came to the funeral. My nan's been calling me. She's not the best. The conversation goes, "Oh, how are you?" "Yeah, Nan, I'm okay." "Yes, because your twins, them did die." "Yes, Nan." "Well, you just have to keep trying." "Okay, Nan." "All right, I'll call you tomorrow." "All right." That's it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where there's no words. People don't know what to say, and I don't. Like, if this wasn't us, I wouldn't know what to say. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard to find the words. I get that. But I feel that people in my family have literally just gone, "That's too much. I'm out." Or, "Sorry to hear about that." Anyway, it's one of the two. Yeah. Um, and yeah, the support just hasn't been there. And I people do this thing where they say, "I wanted to give you your space." And for me, I don't understand it because I never asked for space. Me as a person, I have been alone a lot as a kid, as a teenager, and even into my young adulthood. A lot of that time's by myself. The last thing I want is to be alone when I'm down. And I just don't understand. Maybe it's everybody else who does this. Maybe everybody else, when they're grieving, goes, "Leave me alone." So maybe it's a known thing that if someone's going through something, you leave them alone. But nowhere at any time did I say, "I want to be left alone." But I feel like everybody did that. "Oh, I wanted to give you space." I didn't ask for space. I need support. I need you here. I need a call. I need someone to knock on the door. "Do you want to go for a walk?" Like, one of my friends, Esma, who lives in Milton Keynes, she was brilliant. She was like, "We're going out Friday. We're going for a walk. You don't have to talk about it, but we're going to walk." I tried to cancel on her. She was like, "No, I'll meet you there." I was like, "I've got a mirror. Bring a mirror." Like, she was not having a bar of it. And it was exactly what I needed. And I don't know if people are scared, but I've had to have difficult conversations with a few people in my family to say, "I didn't ask for you to leave me alone." And I'm glad that I'm a person who does speak up, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, imagine if I wasn't that person who says, "I need help. I need you." Like, I literally had to say to my dad, "I need you. I'm struggling," for him to get it. And I just don't get it. I don't understand why everyone just goes ghost. Why people are scared to pick up the phone. Like my friend Nadine, she said the best thing. I remember she called me and she didn't ask me how I was. She just said, "I want to hear your voice." That was it. She sent me off, started crying. But that's all she said. I want to hear your voice. You don't have to tell me anything else. I just want to hear your voice. And it all just blah, 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 blah. And I get it, everyone grieves differently. And the majority of people must just want to be left alone, but I am not one of them. I've spent a lot of time alone. And when you've been in a household where your mother has gone through depression and your mum's been alone, that is the last place I want to be. And that's why, for me, like I'll say it and I'll say it again, like depression for me equals death. It equals suicide, because that's what my mum went through. So I don't like to be in this space. I don't like to be here. And I know I need to drag myself out of it, but I can't right now. So therefore I need to do things that are gonna help me. And if I have to call a family member or message them to say, you're being shit, I need help, then I'm gonna do that. Because it's not all the time that I can pick myself up. And I think a lot of people have this perception of me that I can. Oh, she's so strong. Oh, she'll get over this. Oh, she'll bounce back. Maybe I will, because I'm putting these things in place, but I need help. I can't do it by myself. And I feel like I can't keep depending on you, because yeah, you're my husband and I know you do anything for me, but you're dealing with your own grief. You know, you lost 2 babies too. And then as parents, we're having to deal with her grief.
Yeah.
For our child. It's a lot. So I like how you have your sisters and your mum. You've got that external help. I'm trying to find mine. And that is one of the reasons why, like I asked you, can we do this? Can we go online and do, because I feel like I get a lot of support online. There's obviously, most of my following are people who I have come in contact with. So it's not just random people.
Yeah.
It is people who have been to my dance classes, people who I've PT'd, it's people who've been to our boot camps, it's people who we've worked with. Like, it's, you know, I've got a lot of people from my old jobs still on my Instagrams, and people who I've met through music. So I have a lot of people who I've met in different, you know, stages of my life. And honestly, the minute that we put that post out, and I was so scared to do it because I knew there was no turning back and I knew the messages were going to come. But I needed it. I needed to feel seen. I think I didn't feel seen. I didn't.
Let me ask something about your family. I know you've said it like about you've not asked to be alone, but what could have they done different?
Call. Just call. That's the other thing I have to say in terms of grief. We're in a digital world where everybody likes to send messages, and I'm guilty. I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done it. But being on the other side to it, there is such a big difference between a phone call and a WhatsApp message or an Instagram message. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to pick up the phone and start calling, because that's a lot of missed calls. But if someone who you are very, very close to is going through something, and you can't get to their house, because I would say that's the first thing. Come and see them. Be there in person. And if you can't do that, the next best thing is to pick up the phone and call. And Shade was really good at that. She would message me, I wouldn't reply, and she would straight up call me. And I think like the first couple of conversations, it was all about the twins and everything came up and there was a lot of tears and she's crying, I'm crying on the phone. But once you get it out, it allowed for different conversation. You know, I got to talk about her and how she doing and her struggles. And because she allowed me to get what I needed off my chest, I felt open to then receive, you know? And you can't do that in a message.
Now we could agree with.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I've always said this from the get-go.
You always there, they got the phone. I know, and I'm a messenger. I'm a messenger. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And I said.
And honestly, I feel the difference. And even there's been times where people like Nicole has called me, and I haven't been in the mood to talk. But having that missed call opens the door for me to call back when I'm ready. Then to have that conversation. And you just don't do that with a WhatsApp message. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's
but I've always said that because once again you're living in a digital age, that communication is there.
I bumped into one of Kara's friends in Milton Keynes, and she came out and she hugged me. She hugged me, and I almost I went to give her like a pat hug, and she grabbed me, and I kind of just sunk into the hug, and honestly, it just felt so good because I felt that she felt my pain and she just wanted to hold me, and in that moment, I just let it go, you know. And I've had a few, again, not close people to me, but people in the gym, you know, who I've worked with or have, you know, done dance and stuff with, and they just come and they just hug. Like that's what people need in times of grief. That's what I feel personally. That human connection, that human touch. You just lost someone, well, in our case, two. WhatsApp message, it's not doing it. And then you get the people who don't even do the WhatsApp message, who just completely ghost, like nothing. Or, have sent one message, sorry for your loss, that's it. And just, now, if it's triggering for that person, so they've been through something similar, I completely understand.
Yeah.
I completely understand. I don't understand when someone who you supposedly really care about is probably the lowest of the low that they have ever been. And you can't find the time to knock on their door or pick up the phone. It hurts. And I never think it's intentional. It's not intentional. I don't think anybody's sitting there going, oh, they lost babies, so what? I don't think anyone is ever sitting there doing that. It's just that it's not a priority in their life.
You see, when you say that, when it comes to priority, I would always, you know how people are. Now, there are some people that I generally do believe they're like, okay, give the reason. I get what you mean giving space, because if I'm honest with you, that's how I am. I prefer having my own space. I prefer to.
But don't you think, for example, when we went to visit your mum and she needed some space.
Yes.
And we were all there and she went into her room.
Yeah.
She took herself away because she needed a minute.
Yeah, just to let everyone know, because because during that time I've actually a month I lost my granddad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she didn't want to be around all of us, but we were still there.
Yeah.
And Sheila's done that for us as well.
Yep.
When we had the miscarriage last year.
Yeah.
And we were both in the bed because I didn't want to come out, and the curtains were drawn, but they were all in here and you could hear them.
Yeah.
So it can still work. Do you know what I mean? You
no,
don't have
very
to.
True.
You know what I mean? That's what I feel. And I think it's still helpful because you still got people around, but they're not in your face. You don't have to talk about it. You're still away, but you know that they're just in the next room.
Yeah. No, I can see. Definitely, I'm not gonna go on that. I definitely see the benefits, but generally, for me to go through, I always will prefer to, to have that grief and all that kind of stuff there, on my own. Like,
I get that. I do. I just don't think it's good for anybody to be alone in grief. Like, again, if you want to be in a different room and I'll sit in here, then you're not on your own, but you're on your own. I don't think it's healthy, and I don't think it's okay that we let people do it. I personally don't think anyone who's been through this type of loss, this type of pain, should be on their own. I don't think it's good. Like, and as a society, I think it's horrible that we let people do it. It's like, oh, your heart's just been ripped out of your chest. I'm gonna just leave you to deal with that by yourself for a minute. And when you've kind of worked out how to pick it up and to, screw it back in a little bit, then I'll turn up. What the fuck? How does that make any sense?
No, what you're saying there, I do like. I'm not gonna go. I do hear it. I just feel, me personally, is when it comes to grief, is a place of real, like, you're in the lowest of the low.
Yeah.
Yeah. In our case, like I said, we lost both our kids.
But
when it comes to being vulnerable,
yeah,
I always prefer to be on my own. Like, like I said, when I'm on the phone or whatever, or like my mum's heard me be that mad upset. Yeah. But she's never seen me like that. I can't, like, I literally is that, like I said, the tears is different, like, but that whole, I'm always gonna be controlling it. Like, there's one night where I nearly lost it, where you was here, and it's kind of like, I'm like, I'm just kind of clenching my fist, and it's like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say I totally.
But in those moments, I wouldn't want you to be on your own. Because I love you so much, I would not want you to be on your own in those moments. As your wife, I feel like I should be there.
Yeah, I could. Look,
it's difficult.
I think it's, it is though. I feel like it's the man thing, because it's like,
so sexist.
growing up, well, I say it straight.
It's so sexist.
But okay, let me drop it like this. It was the first time in my life I saw my dad cry.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's like, so that's, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I said, and even myself, I'm like, I can't, that's okay. It's like, in my space. Do you get what I'm saying? It is literally, that is,
man thing.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Damn it. I said I've done so well as well. Go back and be like,
No, but I was gonna say, like, there's other things that, people can do, especially for parents who, I would say, like us, who have a child already and are grieving for our two babies. I think we've really just lost the whole sense of community, where, like, Nicole did such an amazing thing. She came here with Nadine, they tidied up so that when we came out of hospital, the place wasn't a shit show. Literally packed all my maternity stuff away so we didn't have to see all of that when we came through the door and the scan pictures and stuff. And cooked us a batch of meals that put in our freezer. Because we were living on Deliveroo and that was getting real expensive. So there's like little things that people can do. For me personally, I mean, we don't really live close to anybody, but I would have loved for someone to come for that first week to do the school run. Maybe not drop off, but a pick up. Because that has been hard. You know, to walk into that playground with all the mums with their buggies, Mira's teacher who's pregnant, sitting there rubbing her belly when I pick her up from school. Like, that has just... And then you got to deal with the mums that saw you pregnant as well. And looking, but want to say something, but don't really know you that well. And then you got the kids in Amira's class who come up and say, sorry, your baby's died. What happened? Like, that would have been nice. You know, for someone to just go, I'm going to do the school run. I'll pick her up for you. Do you know what I mean? Come home, homework. I'll do the homework. Like, things like that. Or even people who maybe don't have kids already, just to say, okay, look, we don't have to talk. You want to be by yourself, that's fine. But I'm going to clean up this kitchen.
I get what you're saying there.
Do you know what I mean?
I do get that. But it's... This is what I always say, that when you have a unit like friends, family, like the prime example, I always said this, I've always wanted to have like all my family, friends, all in one household. Do you get me? No, listen to what I'm saying before. But when I say like household, I'm like, I look at it like this.
Yourself.
Okay, explain. So, the thing is, what's lacking is community spirit. Yeah? Now, we've all been brought up to, flee the nest.
Separate.
Yeah. How many times do I say this time and time again? Let me use my sisters as an example. And my sisters, their partners, kids, and we're all going through this. It's a noisy house. Of course, we're going to be dealing with the grief and all that kind of stuff there. But everyone all in one household. That school run, that be done. Like I said, you got your friends and all that. So you look, listen, we all need to move and live close together. Like
honestly, me and my friends, we say this every time we meet up. Like, we really didn't think about this. We all bought houses in different places, and we're far from each other. And like, we're just like, why didn't we think of this? Like, why didn't we be like, guys, where are we buying houses? Because we need to be close. And we didn't. And that whole sense of community.
Community, communication.
And I think that's one thing that maybe makes me miss London. Because it was the boot camp, maybe it was the gym, I don't know, but I just felt like we had that community. We did. Like,
prime example, I always say this, because it's like boot campus, so we can say. We used to do our boot camps, and we had to take a mirror with us.
And she'd be in the buggy. In the class.
Where you had Shalene, you had Julie, you had Paul, you had Freddie, you had...
If you don't say her name, she's going to be very upset.
Don't worry. I'm leaving her last.
If you don't say her
I'm
name.
leaving her last. Don't worry. I'm leaving her last. Okay. Yeah, because you know she's cussing in it.
No,
But yeah, you had... you had Freddie, you had Pete, you had... Becky, like there were so many, Estella, and then and then I think that's everyone. I think we covered everyone. Of course, we had Sharon. Of course.
We had Sharon. Still got Sharon.
But yeah, we still got her now. But it's, the way I look at it, it was that
community.
even when it comes to our clients and all that kind of stuff there, like there was
Randy, Rupesh.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where we live now, I'm not gonna say the name, but where we live now, it's just like I said, it's unwashed, bomb blind seasoning. There's no vibe, no nothing. There's no community. I said but we move on. There's no community spirit.
Yeah.
You can't gel with no one. You can't.
We literally made 2-3 good friends, I would say.
Yeah, two guys that I'm close with don't even live in this area.
This place.
They live somewhere else.
Yeah.
But the way I look on it, you lack that.
Community.
There's no community. If everyone's, that's what I will say, that if everyone has the thinking caps and all come together, like school runs would never be an issue.
Yeah.
If whoever's sick, I've got your kids, or do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I just feel like going through this, I've had to put my grief in a little box sometimes, because, like I said, you got school run, you still got homework, you've got to cook dinner, you've got to prepare snacks, you've got to iron uniform, and like, perfect example, we had the twins' funeral, came back,
And
got changed, and picked her up from school.
School, yes.
And came home and had to cook dinner.
And that like nothing happened. Yeah.
So, you still have to be a parent. You still have to get up. And
I think that's one thing I'll say has been the hardest. I know we're going to talk about Amira's grief, but we do it for another pod. But when it comes to putting your feelings to a side, your emotions to a side, be distracted. Like, once again, grief, literally losing the passion of boxing, not wanting to go to the gym. And like I said, but these things were more discipline. It wasn't even like, I need motivation to get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all of these kind of things where I just, this can't be bothered. Like, grief is a powerful thing. Like, I've never been that guy, but even though his sort of was run down, but I just literally,
this child is
destroyed.
Damaged.
That's why until she gets older,
we ain't buying a new one.
Like sleeping here, I just don't even want the thought of getting into a shower and all that. It's just everything was an effort. And you just feel.
I think, like I've said it before, because we're coaches. We have a different mindset in the fact that we know how to coach people.
Sorry to cut you there. No, we've got to kick that coach out because we're teachers in the fitness world.
Shush now. Right. Because we have that, I personally feel like I've had to coach myself in this situation. And the part of me that's, the grieving mum, doesn't want to hear it. Wants to eat rubbish, wants to lie in bed, wants to cry, wants the curtains closed, wants to be in darkness. The coach in me knows that, okay, I feel like that, but if I get up, if I brush my teeth, wash my skin, put some clothes on, and walk outside, even for 20 minutes, or do a stretch, or open the patio doors and just get some air, I know that this is going to make me feel better. I know I'm going to feel better after eating eggs and avocado instead of a chocolate bar for breakfast. I know that's going to make me feel better, but it's that. Constant. And I've had to coach myself at times. I've had to be like, come on, get up. But I think
what gets you up? There you go.
Layla-Rose.
That's what gets you up, Same thing.
Definitely.
It's what gets Yeah.
And even Layla and Anthony.
Yeah.
There was a time where I booked a class, Pilates class, and it's funny. The coach and me had booked it for the Friday because I knew I wouldn't leave the house if I didn't book it.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know myself, I tried to cancel the class.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I heard them say, "Come on, mummy, you can do it."
Mm.
And I said, I have to move. I have to move. For my babies, I have to move. Because the last thing I feel that any child would want is for their parents to crumble.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree to that.
You know? So I can imagine my mum looking at me saying,
Yeah.
"Get up, baby. I need you to get out of the house. I need you to eat something. I need you to open the curtains."
Yeah.
And I would want that for my mum. All you want is your parents to be happy.
Yep.
Don't you?
Right, it's just, yeah. So the main thing when it comes to grief, how you deal with it, you have to go through it.
Yeah. You have to allow yourself to have those moments, but also find things that are going to pull you out. It's never going to go.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the world keeps spinning.
Yeah. I always will say another thing in relation, because that's another thing when it comes to grief. Everyone's life is still moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you might be the topic for now.
Oh yeah.
But just remember, everyone's life does move on. Everyone's got their own issues that they're dealing with.
Yep.
Another thing, because even like I said, when you're going through grief, on the Tuesday we buried our twins. The Friday, your granddad passed away. And yeah, like I said, Uganda. So it's once again.
Yeah.
There's no.
The world doesn't stop.
Yeah.
Just because you're
going through
pain. Doesn't. No one else's life pauses. Yours might pause for a minute, but it still goes. We're still going to do Monday to Sunday. Like, it's still going to happen 24 hours. They're still going to pass.
And I know as much going to use a boxing analogy.
Here we go.
Yeah, I have to all the time, but it's
takes us
sometimes, yeah. It's going through this grief. I've used the liver shot as an example, as an analogy, but also there's something called punch resistance. So basically, punch resistance is like, okay, when you're boxing, you always hear that saying about someone's got a solid chin, like a Golovkin or a Mariswak. Like these guys, their chin is very durable, but it's kind of like it's always chipping away. And I always feel like when your punch resistance completely goes, it does a gives you neurological problems. That's why you see like some guys that they have that one punch that the brain just shuts down.
Yeah.
The reason why I say that is the same thing of when it comes to grief. Like you could go through so much things in your life. If it's grief as in losing a parent, for some people, losing your own kids, is no parent should bury their own kids. It's like I said, having these can you say? Having memories that when you have your parents, you've got these memories you could go back on, and then when it comes to your kids, the memories that you didn't have. Something in regards to that, like it's that's what you go through.
Yeah.
The reason why So when it comes to like punch resistance and all this kind of stuff there, that damage, you're permanently damaged from this. I don't care what anyone says. This grief that you got is permanently damaged.
Yeah.
Well, there's going to be a day where the birthdays come up, an anniversary comes up, Father's Day comes up. If people celebrate Christmas, that comes up. Whatever festivals come up, there's that uppercut, boom, that one punch that knocks you down, that literally ends you for that day. That's what it is. So it's like your mind can literally just switch off just like that.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got anything else to say?
I mean, I'm in the thick of it, and still trying to figure it all out. And I guess we're just riding that wave.
I've got a question for you.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not gonna say it's been the best thing, but what have you learnt from having this kind of grief? What have you learnt?
What have I learned?
Yeah. You asked me questions. I told you questions I'll give you. Now you're like, you bastard.
Yeah, what have I learned?
I'll make it easy.
Okay, I have learned that whether you believe in a higher being or not, whether it's God or life, you can have a plan. Don't mean that you're not in charge of anything. You're not in charge of your destiny. You're not in charge of any plans that you make. I think that's been the biggest lesson for me. Like in my head, I was like, boom, this is the last time I'm going to be pregnant. Twins. I'm done. And God, the universe, life just went, nah. That's probably been my biggest lesson. That there is no control. I can try and put things in place. I can try and, reach for things. I can try and organize stuff, but ultimately I'm not in charge, or I have no control over anything.
That's why I don't like pregnancy.
That's my biggest lesson. Oh, and also I've learned that there is no safe zone. Yeah, that whole after 12 weeks safe zone is bullshit. That's what I've learned. What have you learned?
I'm the one that's asking the questions.
No, but I can ask you that though.
Well, what have I learned?
Yeah, don't dish it to me if you can't have it back.
I'm trying to think.
No, now you're trying to think.
No, just because there's quite a few things I've learnt, so I'm just going to give one.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm doing a Chris Eubank Senior thing.
Oh.
Where you just kind of like, you just stare into space.
No, please don't stare into space. Can you just answer the question?
No comment.
Oh.
Nah, okay. So what I've learnt is there's a test, a spiritual walk, there's a spiritual thing that's happening. And I know a lot of people will say that this is Shaitan's work. My issue with when people say that is if it is the creator, I generally don't believe would have made us go through this. Does that make sense?
I have no idea what you're about.
So when you go through, because you got to realize it was Ramadan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you fasted.
I was fasting. So like I said, so much things, and it has been in the back of my head. Yeah. was this, you know, works of Lucifer, or do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do believe that it ain't got nothing to do, like, me personally, I don't believe that was the devil's work. Well, let me use the devil. I don't believe that was the devil's work.
Okay.
I just believe that, well, now we know that there was more things that actually was out of our control.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then, like, how I felt, like the anger that I had. And remember, I was like fasting, like when I'm telling you, like the Tuesday, I didn't even eat nothing. So practically, I was fasting with no water, no nothing for. And then go from where we came from, which was an hour drive to Oxford.
Yeah.
Like that, like I said, that was a lot. So I do believe there was, after that, the tests, I do believe, where, okay, I'm now, my mind, my spirit is broken at this current time. Okay, now the devil's going to try and do its work. Does that make sense?
Okay.
I know, I think of what I'm talking about. But
No.
Yeah.
Listen.
So what I learned, yeah.
Looking at that, what I had, but gone.
What you have now? Or,
yeah, just listening to you, yeah.
What I believe is this situation, now knowing everything, was out of our control from last Tuesday when we found out what happened.
Yeah.
And there was nothing that we could have done.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's not like when we're going in there and we're hearing about, oh, it's something that, it's just one of those things, it was a freak. That's when my views might be.
Mine.
What's that?
Go on.
Yeah, like, might be different. But one thing I will say is, this is where it's kind of more in relation to what you're saying about when it comes to the universe. One thing I will definitely say, since losing our babies, I do question life a lot. I question life a lot.
In a fact where it's like, what kind of questions? Like, what's it all for, or?
Yeah. Like,
what's the meaning of this?
Yeah, what's it all? Like I said, what's it all for? Like going through all this grief, and I get, like, some things can be testing times. Like talking to, like I said, talking to David, obviously Sharon's husband, and then listening to his views. Then it's kind of, then I'm listening to another guy, his name's Ishmael, listening to his views. And when you do ask yourself, like, why am I here? I feel, another thing I forgot to mention when it comes to grief, I know I'm looking in, because so I'll come back here, so I've got my eyes on you. Right? I feel when it comes to grief, I don't know if you feel like this, but this is what I'm feeling a lot, and that's what I say about life. We have Amira here, and Layla and Junior are in heaven. And I feel like my spirit, where it's literally, it's pulled between the two. Yeah? Look at our babies and saying that, obviously, they're safe. But they're not with me.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? That hits me differently. Then it's kind of, not doing nothing stupid, but I'm like, okay, if I've gone to them, that means I'll leave a mirror. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like
I definitely believe that she is here for a reason.
Yes. Because I could tell you this right now.
Because she's been our anchor.
Anchor, and she's the one.
As hard as it's been to have to
she keeps us
program, she has been our anchor. So
I don't know what you're saying there. I definitely agree with that because without a mirror, even though I love you to bits, babe, I would have done the mad thing. Seriously, because how I felt there, and I know you're tapping me saying cut this off, but let's you know what, we'll cut this off. I love you. No bad marriage, just keeps growing stronger. Okay. This is a bit gay now. No, this is gonna go to the world, but yeah.
For one moment, you had to ruin it. Go make me a tea. Move yourself.
I love you. I said I love you. I love you, and I love 3 of our kids, and that's another thing as well, which we'll talk in the next pod. Okay.
Okay.
Before I cut this, because I'm gonna keep this on running. Was I better at looking at you?
Oh my gosh.
No, wait. Let's answer the question.
You're so annoying.
Answer the question. Now that I looked at you.
No, because you still was looking at space.
Yeah, but
I'm here.
But you know, it's funny. It's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because you know why? When you look at this, you were also looking at the space when you was talking.
Yeah, but then there was a lot more of me.
No. You was like this, and then you say something to me, and then you go back here again. Exactly what I was doing. So yeah, don't worry. This ain't.